With the announcement of one of the most hyped up franchises receiving an anime with some god tier staff, it was obvious that expectations were through the roof. But when the series premiered its first episode, a lot of people were mad and disappointed about the CGI, which I can understand. Except for the people that say certain scenes are CGI but they're just animated in 2D. However, the question that a lot of people were asking was, why are they using CGI? And even more specific, why in the close-up shot, where CGI is widely regarded as the hardest to pull off? The answer to this question is actually not that complicated, but somehow barely anyone noticed it. Mankoman, a really good YouTuber, found out why they were using CGI for the close-ups, and I wanted to share it by making a dedicated video on it so more people will know and stop sending death threats to the director for having a creative vision, which is literally his job. Getting straight into it, one cut that was mainly criticized was the first appearance of Denji as Chainsaw Man. As here you can see, there's not a lot of movement, but still they made it CGI and in the close-up. Why would they do this? Well, the reason is to make the chainsaw spin. You see, animating a chainsaw spinning around is really hard in 2D because every frame you have to watch out where you're putting the chainsaws so it looks like it's spinning at the same pace every time. This is incredibly hard when you also take into account the different perspectives you have to draw the chainsaw in. This is way too time consuming and way too difficult to be realistic to use. This would also mean that the constant character animation and background characters wouldn't look as good as they do now. I mean, heck, they even made a complete background just for being in the car with Makima. It's insane what they're doing here, and they're definitely not cutting corners. What you can actually see right here is that the chainsaws are not moving. This is a 2D animated cut, but you can tell here the chainsaws aren't moving, they're just standing still. And we think they are still moving because they are using the same sound effect and just some quick movements to hide that it's actually not moving. Here I have a scene where we can see Denji dropping down and his hands, the chainsaws on his hands are actually moving. So what you can see here is the legs are animated in 2D and the arms are animated in 3D to show the chainsaw spinning. So if you look very closely you can tell. The next scene after that, Denji gets thrown back. As he walks to the bed devil, you can see that his chainsaws are not moving, they're standing still. They're only stretched out a little to make them look like they are rotating, but they are not. And here, if you go scene by scene, you can tell that certain scenes are done in CGI or 2D based on whether they need to have a moving chainsaw or not. Sometimes the chainsaw can be 2D and moving, but that is only when the chainsaw itself is not moving. So when the chainsaw rotates, but the chainsaw itself is not moving. Like you can see here, the chainsaw is moving, it's 2D animated, but it's a still image, it's not moving. There's only one exception to this case, and we don't know who animated this, but here you can see the 3 chainsaws all moving independently, all animated in 2D. And yeah, this kind of showed up. We don't know who animated this, but it looks really cool, but it's not realistic to keep up. So they're probably gonna continue to use CGI in the close-up shots and amazing animation when Denji is a bit further away or you don't have the time to realize whether it's spinning or not. This also means that a lot of concerns people had about Katana Man versus Denji, so when the Katana Man shows up, that it was going to be like a fight between 2 3D dolls. This will not be the case. Like 90% sure, 99% sure, this will not be the case because Katana Man does not have moving parts like Chainsaw Man does. This also counts for Bum Girl because she does not have any moving parts either, so she will probably be in 2D. I think maybe another CGI part we will see is the Gun Devil because it's like It's fucking huge. It would be weird if they did it all in 2D. It would be sick if they did it all in 2D, but I don't think so. So you can probably expect that to be CGI. But if it's not, I'm really impressed. And yeah, this is it for it now. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And so you can now identify the scenes, whether they are 2D or 3D, by whether the chainsaws are moving. So yeah, have a nice day and peace out.